A Machiavellian view of a planetary revolt against the Cabal in the city of London. From a Machiavellian perspective, power is not inherently evil. It is the ultimate currency of survival, control, and order. The global banking elite, or Cabal, based in the city of London, are masters of wielding this currency, exercising dominion over populations, governments, and institutions. Their grip on the world system has reached a point where revolt may appear as the only solution. However, any uprising against such entrenched power must be planned with a calculated ruthlessness, grounded not in the idealism of justice, but in the pragmatic pursuit of dominance. For those who seek to overthrow the Cabal, the end justifies the means. The mechanisms of control, war, and manipulation. The Cabal's control over global affairs is sophisticated, with manufactured crises and fake wars serving as critical tools. These conflicts, designed and perpetuated by the elite, do not merely drain taxpayer money, they serve a larger goal of population control and consolidation of power. The notion that World War III could be orchestrated to downsize the global population should not be dismissed as mere conspiracy theory, but analyzed as part of a long tradition of ruling classes using warfare to reshape societal structures. In Machiavelli's view, war is an essential tool for rulers, not merely for defense but for expansion and cementing control. It is the vehicle through which leaders demonstrate their strength, inspire fear, and eliminate enemies. For the Cabal, war is not just profitable. It is a means of population management, ensuring that dissent remains controlled and resources are redistributed among those they deem worthy. The Cabal's orchestration of wars is Machiavellian in its calculated cruelty, sacrificing the many to secure the grip of the few. They weaponize fear and chaos, knowing that a population in distress is easier to manipulate. To revolt against such a force requires a clear understanding of these mechanisms and a willingness to disrupt them with equal cunning and strategy. The threat of truth and assassination as a tool. When President Trump ascended to power, he presented a potential threat to the Cabal's carefully managed order. His rhetoric promised a break from the globalist agenda, exposing what many believe to be the truth, an unmasking of the Cabal's machinations. The Epstein scandal, a symbol of the elite's hidden networks, was one such truth that posed too great a risk to be fully revealed. Epstein's death in jail was a message, a calculated removal of a loose end that could expose the larger conspiracy. In Machiavellian terms, the assassination of Epstein and allegedly others like JFK, is not merely an act of criminality but a necessary strategy for preserving power. One must either pamper or destroy, Machiavelli wrote, and those who threaten the Cabal's control must be eradicated before they can do irreversible damage. Trump's near assassination was a reflection of the fear that the Cabal felt, the fear that he would uncover and dismantle the very systems of control that they rely upon. As Machiavelli would argue, fear is a more reliable tool than love in maintaining authority, and those in power must be unflinching in their pursuit of it. Ursula von der Leyen and Kamala Harris, tools of the Cabal. Ursula von der Leyen and Kamala Harris represent key political figures, puppets of the Cabal, positioned in leadership roles not because of merit, but because they are instruments of the global elite strategy. Their ascendancy is not a reflection of democratic will, but the outcome of calculated maneuvers by the ruling class. Von der Leyen's reinstatement without legitimate votes is emblematic of the way the Cabal operates, circumventing democratic processes and ensuring that its loyal agents remain in positions of influence. In Machiavelli's view, leaders who are reliant on external powers rather than their own merit are doomed to fail unless they maintain the favor of their masters. Von der Leyen, like Kamala Harris, is beholden to the Cabal for her position, and as such, her loyalty lies with them, not with the people she is supposed to represent. Their removal from power, if it is to be achieved, will require the same cold, calculated approach that brought them into office. The necessity of ruthless action in revolt. A planetary revolt against the Cabal cannot be based on moral righteousness alone. It must be executed with the same ruthlessness that the Cabal uses to maintain control. Machiavelli understood that successful revolutions and uprisings require the willingness to engage in deception, violence, and strategic alliances. The masses must be mobilized, but not with promises of utopia. They must be shown the tangible benefits of rebellion, the reclaiming of wealth, the restoration of sovereignty, and the elimination of the elite's exploitative structures. Orban's defiance of the EU leadership is an example of how a strong leader can challenge entrenched power. His speech, which exposed the hypocrisy of the EU's cabal, reflects a calculated move to rally support and delegitimize his enemies. To overthrow the cabal, leaders must follow suit, exposing the truth, mobilizing the discontented, and striking at the heart of the system with precision. Machiavelli advises that one must be both a lion and a fox, brave and strong, but also cunning and deceptive. Those who wish to dismantle the cabal must embrace this duality. Conclusion. A Machiavellian revolt against the cabal in the city of London requires more than outrage. It demands a calculated approach rooted in the principles of power, manipulation, and strategy. The cabal has maintained its rule through a combination of fear, war, and the strategic elimination of threats. To overthrow them, one must adopt their tactics, understanding that victory will come not through justice alone, but through the careful application of force, deception, and calculated alliances. The time for revolt is ripe, but only those who can play the game of power as ruthlessly as the cabal itself will succeed.